It's Friday, May 24th, 2024, the beginning of Memorial Day weekend. Welcome to episode 104 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler. In this edition of the Postcast, a waterfowl cooks its own goose and AMP customers feel the effects. The naming of a new park gets contentious at City Council. Site work at the former Lum Elementary gets technical. After solid playoff runs, our high school baseball and softball teams see their seasons end. Brian Wu shuts down the Yankees in New York. The Hornet and Veterans Memorial Park are set to honor the fallen on Memorial Day. And the oddest real estate listing in Alameda. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story: were you one of the 3,200 Alameda Municipal Power customers that lost power Wednesday evening? That outage affected traffic signals, cellular communications, and, according to a post on Facebook, the ability for the Alameda Police Department to receive emergency and non-emergency calls from the public. Power was restored within 90 minutes. The cause? A goose colliding with a power line. As you might imagine, it did not end well for the errant waterfowl who did not survive the collision. When reached for comment, Two Birds from Alameda cartoonist Brees responded saying, quote, "We can confirm that Goose was not involved in this terrible tragedy. We want to assure the public that this is not part of an organized goose uprising or political statement. All of us at Two Birds from Alameda extend our condolences to the family of the victim and remind all geese and seagulls to use caution when flying through Alameda." End quote. Find Adam Gillett's article at alamedapost.com/news, and don't forget to follow Two Birds from Alameda at alamedapost.com/op-ed. A seemingly simple process at City Council took an unexpected turn on Tuesday, May 21st. That's when the council directed the new park at Alameda Marina to be named Svensson Maritime Park in honor of longtime and beloved Alameda business owner and community member Sven Svensson, who co-founded Svensson's Boat Works at the Alameda Marina with his wife in 1963. Svensson passed away in 2013, but the business continues to this day. The new park will be located on the Alameda-Oakland estuary between Grand and Willow Streets along the Alameda Northern waterfront. It will include a continuation of the San Francisco Bay Trail, open lawn, a waterfront promenade, seating, picnic areas, and a floating dock. Back in 2022, city staff conducted a community-wide survey to solicit ideas for the new park's name, and in March of 22, the commission approved 10 names and conducted a second community-wide survey to solicit further feedback. In July of that year, the Recreation and Parks Commission received a request from Svensson's family to name the park after him due to his longtime maritime history at the site. While Svensson's name was not on the original list of 10, the commission ultimately recommended 2 names to the council: Svensson and Riveters Waterfront Park after Rosie the Riveter. Public comment, in person and through correspondence, was unanimously in favor of the Svensson Maritime Park name, with letters coming in from Alameda, the Bay Area, out of state, and even Denmark. The name was also praised by Svensson's former employees, City Treasurer Kevin Kennedy, and Encinal Sailing Foundation President Michael Gorman. The unexpected turn in the process started when Mayor Marilyn Ezzy Ashcraft said while she thought Svensson's name should be considered, she didn't want to approve it at this meeting, arguing the name had not correctly gone through the Recreation and Park Commission's council-approved process. She wanted staff to conduct additional public engagement regarding the name and for the public to also consider the names of women who had historical impact in Alameda. Councilmember Trish Herrera Spencer countered that the mayor was misrepresenting the process and called upon City Attorney Yiben Shen to confirm proper procedures were followed. Shen agreed that they were. Vice Mayor Tony Dasog expressed his support for the name, as did Councilmember Tracy Jensen. It was then that the mayor responded by suggesting that Jensen disclose personal relationships or campaign contributions that might influence her views. Jensen, seemingly taken aback by the suggestion, responded that she hadn't been influenced or received any contribution in exchange for her vote. Councilmember Herrera Spencer motioned to approve Svensson Maritime Park as the new name of the Alameda Marina Park. The motion passed 3-1, with the mayor opposed. Councilmember Malia Vella was absent. In other business, the council received the proposed mid-cycle budget report in preparation to adopt the mid-cycle update in June and voted to revise the fee schedules for the following departments: Recreation and Parks, Planning, Building and Transportation, Public Works, Finance, and Fire. For further details on Tuesday's meeting, as well as concept photos of the new park, see Karen Jensen's article at alamedapost.com/news. Work at the former Lum Elementary School continues as the site is being turned into a temporary campus for students at Wood Middle and later Otis Elementary as those schools are rebuilt. But if Lum was torn down due to safety issues, what is being done to ensure the integrity of the new temporary facility? In this case, the California Geologic Survey has mandated that the sandy soils on the Lum site be remediated with a geologic raft in order to negate the earthquake risk. This raft consists of layers of a geogrid, a very strong netting material, along with crushed rock and soil that are repeatedly compacted so as to create a stable foundation that resists liquefaction. The compaction is done with a vibratory roller, which is like a steamroller but has the added element of vibration to further push the air out between the rocks and make a close fit. Area residents have felt the vibrations from this process. Look for the temporary campus to be completed by the beginning of the 24-25 school year. After the temporary campus has served its purpose, AUSD plans to build a multi-sport athletic facility on the LUM site. For details, including a diagram of what exactly a geologic raft looks like, see Susan Davis's article at alamedapost.com/news. Last week, I reported that the local baseball and softball squads were continuing their runs in their respective playoffs. Unfortunately, all 4 teams saw their seasons end this past week. In NCS Division II, the Alameda Hornets baseball squad fell in the quarterfinals 3-0 to Cardinal Newman. Hornets softball made it to the semis before losing 3-1 on Tuesday to Casa Grande. In Division III, both Encinal Jets teams reached the semis. The baseball team fell to San Marin 10-3 on Tuesday, while softball lost to Cardinal Newman 6-4 on Wednesday. Not the results the teams wanted, obviously, but an impressive showing for Alameda nonetheless. In pro ball, Alameda's Brian Wu returned to the site of his first major league win on Tuesday, and the results were even better. Brian threw 6 innings of scoreless baseball, scattering 2 hits, striking out 7, and not allowing a walk. He handed the bullpen a 2-0 lead, and the Mariners went on to beat the Bronx Bombers 6-3. Next up, Brian takes his .57 ERA to Washington for a Sunday matchup against the Nationals. You can follow Brian on MLB TV. Here in town, McGee's on Park usually has Brian's games available for viewing. Memorial Day this Monday. As usual, you can pay your respects at 2 locations, Veterans Memorial Park on Bay Farm Island and the USS Hornet. Both events start at 11 a.m. At the Hornet, look for the ceremony to end around noon with a wreath laying. A memorial flyover is scheduled for approximately 1 p.m. Details on both ceremonies at alamedapost.com/events. Got visitors in town for the long weekend to bring them along on our latest walking history tour. Sunday at 10, your last chance to catch Neptune Beach and Central Baths. Neptune, the famous Coney Island of the West, wasn't the only game in town. You'll learn about the Newport Baths that opened in 1877 and various other facilities that entertained visitors for years. For details and tickets, see alamedapost.com/tours. You'll definitely want to read Dennis Evanosky's detailed 2-part article entitled West End Once Served as a Magnet for Bathers. From the very beginning to the arrival of the wrecking ball at Neptune in 1940, it's a fascinating look at a time when Alameda was definitely the playground for the Bay Area and beyond. Find the article at alamedapost.com/history. In Alameda, real estate moves quickly. Homes are on the market for a couple of weeks max, and you're going to pay at least $1 million in most cases. What if I told you you could own a piece of property on Grand Street for only $400,000 and that it had been on the market for over 300 days? You'd probably ask, what's the catch? Smart question. The catch is that it's underwater. That's right, the lot known as 610 Grand Street is literally in the lagoon. It was part of a larger parcel belonging to the Oppenheimer family. The Oppenheimer estate kept the property, paid taxes through 2015. Eventually, they defaulted and the property was put up for auction in March of last year. It was purchased for $100,100 by a San Lorenzo-based pastor. He bought the parcel as an investment property, hoped to fix it and flip it. The buyer did not realize that the property was underwater until the real estate agent, April Jones, visited the site to take photographs. This is where it gets even better. Despite being underwater, the parcel is zoned R1, one-family residential. You can imagine the Herculean effort required to build something here, especially considering you can't obstruct navigation and maintenance in the lagoon. It's one of the great quirky stories that makes Alameda, Alameda. Ken Durr's got all the details at alamedapost.com/news. A fun event Friday and Saturday on Alameda Point, the Alameda Vintage Fashion Fair at 1190 West Tower Avenue, 6 to 10 p.m. on Friday and 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. Time now to take a look at alamedapost.com/events. Saturday, Farmers Market from 9 to 1. The 4th Saturday of the month means the Myers House is open for tours, another great idea for your weekend guests. Saturday at 3:30 at Christ Episcopal Church, Artistic Director Alan Simon conducts his final concert with Soli Deo Gloria in a performance of Haydn's Lord Nelson Mass, featuring a full orchestra and chorus. Saturday night, Pamela Rose's Blues is a Woman at Rhythmics Cultural Works. More events at alamedapost.com/events. Thank you for your support of local news for Alameda. To give a tax-deductible donation, head to alamedapost.com/memberships. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, MSN, YouTube, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, as well as our very own subreddit. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel on Apple News. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcast, or simply tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler. Make sure to take a moment to reflect on the reason for this long weekend. I'll be back next Friday with episode 105 of the Alameda Postcast.